So guys, welcome back to another trade recap, and as you can probably see if you've been following my channel, it's been quite a while since I've done a recap, and just simply before the fact is, I like to put out a little bit more of educational content, and a lot of times when I do this, not a lot of people actually view the trade recaps, but I know that some people do take a lot of value from these and it helps them along in their journey, so I will continue to upload these, every now and again especially. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover a trade that I took on EUR USD yesterday afternoon in New York session, and without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So obviously on the daily, and especially if you've been trading EUR USD, what you will know is that EUR USD has been melting quite heavily. So first of all, what I've saw is the last break of structure to the downside for me was this one right here. So I've got a break of structure to the downside on there. There's not really much to say about the daily. Overall, this is our protected high right here. So this is protected, and this right here is our target. But what we could see is we could see a retracement now after the last 2 days of bullish price action. So the last 2 days we've had bullish candles here. So what we could see now is we could see a start of a pullback into around the EQ of the daily trading range. So overall, what the expectation is on the daily is for, obviously we've come down. What we might expect now is a lower high, and then for the expectation in to break this low and put in a lower low. So overall on daily, that's the daily picture. So with that being said, I'll just delete these lines and then we'll drop down onto the 4 hour. So coming down onto the 4 hour, what we have seen is we have seen a 4 hour change of character right here. So we've had a change of character right here. So that would be our change of character down, and then we obviously took this high. So what I was thinking is we could now start seeing bullish price action, so a chalk up. But then actually what we did is we came down, we broke these lows, which was an actual true break of structure to the downside. So we continued bearish, and then now what we've done is we've come up and then we've broke these highs right here. So with that being said, obviously now we could start seeing the daily pullback. So this would be our 4 up. So overall on the daily we are bearish. Currently we've had a couple of days of bullish price action, and on the 4 hour we are now obviously bullish with this break of structure right here. So what I was seeing is I was seeing this supply right here. So we've got this supply right here, and at the moment we've seen a nice little tap into it. So what I did is I dropped down onto the 15 minute just to see what was going on the 15. As you can see on the 15 minute, obviously we've been bullish for quite some time. So we had this break of structure down here, and then what we did is we come up and then we broke structure to the upside by breaking this high right here. So a 15 up, and then what we did is we pushed up, pulled back, and then we broke structure again. So at this moment in time we are currently bullish on the 15 minute. So with that being said, I would be happy to take a trade from this zone here, but for me personally, I don't take 1 minute entries straight from a 4 hour zone. So what I was thinking is to just see what we've tapped into on the 15 minute here, and if it makes sense, then I will be happy to take a trade. So I just use this tool sometimes, just to keep my bearings and know where I am. So as you can see, if I zoom in a little bit, what you can see is we've tapped into this supply zone right here. And this is the one obviously that caused this break of structure here. So it's a valid zone for me to look to trade from. So we've got this supply zone right here, and then obviously I bring it over and you will see then that we've tapped into it. So obviously now I would be happy to look for my entry model on the 1 minute from this zone. So overall, as you know, we are bearish on the daily, we are bullish on the 4 hour, and bullish now on the 15 minute. But obviously we've broken structure on the 15 minutes, so we could see a pullback into the sort of EQ range of the 15 minutes. So we could get a pullback into here before continuing. So that's the overall trade idea, and that's what I was looking at when I was looking to get involved in the market. So obviously what I'm going to do now is drop down onto the 15 minute, onto the 1 minute, sorry. And as you can see, this is what I was seeing on the 1 minute. So what I've seen is we've come up, we've come down, and we've got sort of a V-shaped recovery. And if you've learnt from Phantom or Photon, etc., you will know what V-shaped recovery is, because that's used heavily in their trade plans. But for me personally, it's not something I really look at that much. It's an added confluence for sure, but it's not a written rule in my trade plan. So what I was looking for is, obviously I need a change of character, so this would be the start of the change of character, so a chalk up. And then what I was looking for the low to go is this low right here. So to complete the change of character, it would be this low that I need to go right there. And then what I was seeing is, obviously what I need is a higher time frame mitigation, liquidation, chalk flip. So we've taken out some liquidity right here. We've had a higher time frame mitigation. We obviously still need to see the chalk and the flip. And what I was seeing is, obviously we are in this, well, we're nearly in this demand zone right here. It's a valid demand to look at. So this would be a valid demand to look at for the flip. As you can see, what we get is we actually do get a reaction from this. And you know, there's no way we could enter here because we haven't yet had the change of character, and that's something, you know, that's a written rule in my trade plan that I need to see happen. So obviously what I was looking for is I was looking for this demand right here also, and just looking to see what happens with price. So what you'll see now is we come down, we tap into this demand, and then we obviously now get a reaction. What this reaction has done is this reaction has now swept liquidity on this candle right here. So that's been a sweep, and for me, if we see a failure of this demand right now, what I'll do is I will look at getting involved in this bullish candle right here. So let's see what happens. As you can see, the reaction has now failed and this whole demand zone has failed. So for me, what I'm seeing is, obviously we've had the full criteria of my entry model, and from now what I did is obviously set an order. So this is the candle that I entered on. So for me, I entered at the open. I entered at the open and just covered the high. So as you can see here, around a 2.3 pip stop, and then for me, I would be, you know, targeting 10R. So a 10R trade would be right there. So if I just zoom in and, you know, show you what happens. So as you can see, you know, we've got liquidity down here that we can target and, you know, to fuel the move to the downside. So what you will see happen now is you'll see us get tagged in. So what happens is we come down first, and then you'll see us come up, and we nearly tag in, but then what we do is we then move away from the entry. So for me, I would class this right here as an inducement. So all this has done here has enticed, you know, early sellers into the market, and what we are looking for is we are looking for the early sellers to get taken out, for our position to be tagged in, and, you know, for price to move away. So let's see what happens right here. So we come down further, and then what you'll see is we come up, we do get tagged in to the position right there. So if I just move this over, and now where is our break even? So for me personally, my break even level will be here. You know, it can obviously be different for you, but my break even would be, you know, this low right here, this 1 minute break of structure. And then as you can see, we come down and then we get a break even, you know, pretty fast. So at this point, this trade is now risk free, and all I was doing is obviously waiting to see if we hit take profit, or if we come back up and take us out for break even. As you can see, what happens is price runs on, and we do eventually get to take profit, and, you know, this is a nice 10R trade. So overall, I'm, you know, pretty happy with this trade. It's something, you know, that I would take, you know, every time it does present itself. It's a really nice trade. The, you know, the confluences behind it are there, you know, and overall it's a great trade. So that's just about it for this trade recap, guys. If you have any questions about it, feel free to drop them in the comments. You can also contact me on my Instagram, which will be linked on the YouTube channel and also in the description. But yeah, without further ado, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.